At the Washington State Horse Expo with Mark Bolender and Harris of LMF Leads. And I'm going to talk to Mark first about the horse that most impacted his life. And then Harris is going to tell a little bit about the feeding program for this special horse. So Mark, why don't you tell us about tell us about your horse and how he changed your life.
Well, the #1 horse that's changed my life is Checkers, Mr. Sir Rugged Checks. He has taken me down roads I never dreamt of, and we have had the time of his life, or the time of my life, just showing him and exhibiting him, and he has been a real inspiration to a lot of people. And now he's 14 years old, and his body's changed a little bit as ours changed, and so we've had to change his feeding program and his mom's feeding program quite a bit, and that's where Harris comes in.
Yeah. Harris, tell us a little bit about the feeding program.
Well, I think, first of all, every horse is still an individual, and so you have to look at them on that basis. But my goal, basically, on any horse, any farm, is every horse has genetic potential. How do we get to that genetic potential and then do it at the best possible cost on it? And so I typically look at adjusting the hay before we start putting a lot of grain in, because the hay is the natural part of the whole diet. And we only use grains if we need to put extra weight on over and above what the hay can provide. But the rest of it is just balance. Every cell in the horse's body is built off minerals. And so we have to have the mineral balance in proper alignment, and then everything else falls into place. There is no magic foo-foo powder that's going to change a horse. They're either balanced or they're not.
And it's really helped us where Harris would come down and actually test our hay and tell us the weaknesses and the strengths, and then balance the diet for us. So we went from feeding a lot of grain, a different type of grain, to feeding much less, and the horses actually are looking a lot better.
And that's the whole purpose, The hay test, every hay in the Northwest typically is short on phosphorus, zinc, copper, selenium, vitamin E, and so it's just a balancing act again. We're back with the minerals. How do we put that into proper alignment? Because it's going to affect the hoof, the hair coat, the skin, the attitude, muscle rebuilding. The whole balance on the horse, so that's what we're after.
Perfect.
And where Checkers is our bread and butter, we've got to have the diet right, we have to have his mind right, and he's got to be healthy and sound enough to travel 14 hours a day in the trailer and perform at an expo that night.
Perfect. And Mark, tell me how Checkers has influenced your training program with the Mountain Trail.
Well, Checkers is one arrogant horse. And he's also a horse that you can't cowboy. But he's a horse that if you're fair and you present something to him and you allow him the time to think it through, he'll step up to the plate and perform things that all of us fantasize about, rival us. Things that we wish our horse would just do, and he'll step up to the plate, not only do them, he'll do them without a bridle. So he's made me rethink a lot of my training. He's also opened the doors for me to see how instinct fits into the whole training program. And we've gone down that road and seen some phenomenal results, not just on Checkers, but on all the horses that we touch. It's been a lot of fun with the Mountain Trail to watch them walk across the balance beams and the swinging bridges and through the rocks and logs and hop up and down the jumps and drop down the wall and 10 feet in the water. It's just amazing what they're willing to do and how far they can go if we just believe in them.
And how can anybody get into the sport of Mountain Trail, and how would they get into it?
It's a sport that everyone can do. Every horse can do it. You have 3 levels, level 1, 2, and 3. Some classes are a walk, some are a trot, some are loping through water. But it's just good, practical experience for the horses going down the trail. And like I said, the average person, the average horse, they can all do this, enjoy it, have fun, and excel.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen, and have a great time at the expo, and we'll be talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.